E-Scouting Black Bear, part 2 of our 3-part How to Hunt Black Bear video series. In this video, we're going to teach you how to be a better e-scouter in general, but also how to e-scout for black bear. So it's a very important video with some gold nugget tips in it, so be sure to stay tuned.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more how to win a free t-shirt shipped to you, check out video number 1.
Here we are in front of the computer. So if you watch the first 2 videos, we've gone over preparation, and then we've gone over our gear dump. Then you'll know we got our state picked out, we got our district or districts picked out, we got our HQ location or locations picked out. Now it's time to start e-scouting and really picking apart that hunting ground. So let's jump in. So we're going to get our mapping systems loaded. Doesn't matter which one you use. We're not sponsored by anybody. We really don't care. I use onX. I also use GoHunt. I use HuntWise as well for some things. And then I'll use Google Earth too. But for in this example, we're just going to go ahead and use onX. It's nice to have the other mapping systems as well so you can compare satellite imagery. Maybe one's newer than the other. Google Earth is, I've found to be handy, but yet at the same time so old that you could possibly find dinosaurs in it because their imagery is just 6 million years ago. So that is kind of annoying. So I do like my onX and my GoHunt for that. It seems to be more refreshed imagery. So let's jump in here. I'm going to show you an example of the power of e-scouting here real quick. If you can see this purple mark right here, that's one of my general area favorite marks. I'll explain how I do it later. But then right over here to the left, this brown mark, that is a bear I shot 3 weeks later after e-scouting this area. So it's right next to that. We'll do the line distance right here. 200 yards. 200 yards away from one of my favorite marks, I shot a bear 3 weeks later. So this e-scouting information, it will help you a lot. So I picked this giant private land area here. There's some public around it, but this whole general area is public. I'm going to use this as an example so I don't blow up anybody's spots, and it kind of has just what we need to do what we're doing here. So let's zoom in here. Let's pretend that this is our base camp here. This is our HQ, Airbnb, camp, whatever you want it to be. We're just going to make this our center location here. This is where our camp's going to be. I like to mark green for areas I haven't been yet, but points of interest. And then when I get there, I mark them brown, so when I'm looking at my map, I can tell where I have been and where I want to go. That's just a personal preference. So there's our base camp. We're going to zoom out. Look at it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this general area here, and I'm going to find things that really catch my eye. So let's zoom in here. This spot looks really good. I really like all this. It's all private. We'll pretend all those roads are gated. So I'm going to throw an interest mark. Now this black mark is a general area mark. I'll make that one mark just like that, and I'll make a bunch of them. I want a bunch of these marks with certain things that catch my eye. I'm going to do a bunch of references. I'm just going to click some on here. Yeah, we'll throw this one up real fast. Black X. Okay, let's just say there's some more down here. We're going to use our first one as our reference still. I'm just kind of throwing these out there. The whole principle is you're looking for all these general areas that catch your eye and you're marking them. But they're all general areas that are too far away to just walk to the next one. These are ones that are areas that I can spend some time exploring. But we're going to use the first one here as the example. That's just our better example. But we got a few of those set up now. And I'll have a lot of them up by the time I'm done. I'll have a dozen or two of those marks in my general area that I like to use. So let's go to the first one, though. This just kind of has what we need for our example. Got some nice logging cuts. Okay, so this is our general area mark. This is what we want to get to. So we're going to start looking at the roads here to see how we get to our spot. We're going to pretend all this is gated. This road over here is gated, so our access road, let's say this is our access road over here, okay? So let's come down. It's right down from base camp. Nice. We'll come up that road, and then we'll say the gate's right here. Let's click right there. We'll put a gate mark. We know that gate's there. These roads aren't popping up either as far as gated or not gated because it's on private, so it doesn't show it on onX. So what you would do for an example if this road was highlighted because it wasn't on private is you'd come over here on your onX. You could click on the road, click on your road here, and then you can scroll down. You can see it says what types of vehicles, and then there's your date. Okay, so it's open. So that's the important information that you would normally have, but since we're on private here, it's not going to populate that information. So we're just going to pretend that this road is open, but the gate's right here. So now we want to track this line distance. How far back is it? Can we make it back there? Okay, so let's do our line distance tool. Now I'm just going to click it. I'm not going to go through every little nook and crevasse. It just takes too much time. I'm going to just get a rough estimate. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now I got a rough estimate. I know it's going to be a little bit longer, but that's definitely a doable hike. So that's an easy hike in. And then now I know I can go farther too. So, all right. So now we know we can do it. And I'm just going to get rid of that there. I would do it finer later and once I found that area out and I really wanted to know. But if I know it's that close, I'm good with that. But then you know you can get a little further back here too. All that stuff looks pretty good as well. So. Okay, so I really like this area. It does look good. It's got the nice logged area. So what we're gonna good area to glass. So I'm gonna put a glass mark here. I'm gonna go glassing, green. Haven't been there yet. Save. So I like that glassing spot there. So the reason I put that green mark across from my glassing point is because once I find out where the bears are, if they're on a south face or a north face, when I'm out here hunting and I'm look back at my map, I can see, okay, so here's my glassing point. Now I'm looking to the south. So if I'm seeing bears on the south slope, I want to see those spots easily when I'm e-scouting. It helps save time. So let's say, okay, yeah, this looks like a good glass spot. For example here, let's go glass, save. Okay, and I really like this over here. What if that's really green, nice fresh log? So I'm going to put that mark across. So when I find out that those bears are on that certain face and I'm zoomed out, I can see easier and faster, because sometimes when you're out there hunting, your brain's not 100% clear either. So now I got those good south faces marked. And then I'm going to do some good north to south glassing spots too. I'm going to glass the north faces. What if it's a snowier year? What if the greener green's on that other side? You know, what if I'm hunting in the fall? It just depends. So, for example, I'll come over here. Oh, yeah, this it actually looks really good, too. It looks like a great area. Let's just say this is our glassing spot. Okay, I'm going to do a glass spot. And then I'm going to do my mark across the other side. Looks like a good feed area, which actually does look super good. So I'm going to leave my other green X. And it just helps. It just helps when I know, okay, I want to glass north faces, or I want to glass south faces. I want to be able to see these faster and clearer, because when you're out in the field, sometimes your brain's not at full capacity as if you're sitting at home e-scouting. It's just so much more efficient to do your e-scouting at home. So I like my north and south slopes marked out with my glassing positions. So let's bounce back to this spot over here. Okay, I really like this spot. So, and if this was gated too, and it took you 2.5 miles to get back to this spot, all this nice green stuff, yeah. If it took you 2.5 miles to get back here and it was gated, this does look like a spot you'd see a bear. So one thing I'll do, I'll use my line distance in these favorite spots where I do think I'd see a bear. And I'll just check across these drainages. Run a quick little brainstorm. Look at it. Oh, okay, all right. Is that doable for you? Is it not doable? Just gives you a general idea too, when you're looking at it. It's nice to set up on bear spots where you can shoot across. Where you're glassing, you can physically shoot across. So that's really important too. I like to see if I can make that shot, because if I can make that shot from that glassing point, that's a cherry spot right there. I really like that. Okay, so we got our general area there. We started to pick apart. We can get into it from the road. It's totally doable. We can go further if we want. In reality, I would pick this spot apart way more. I'd know every nook and cranny, or at least most of them. I like a lot of the spots we got marked, but this is what a lot of my general areas are going to look like. So that's just one area. We got our other ones. I'd pick all those apart too, and my whole map would just look kind of ridiculous with marks everywhere. But let's say that this is one of my favorite spots though. Okay, I really like it. I'm going to go and I'm going to mark it purple.
Purple just means my favorite point of interest that I absolutely want to go to. I'll make sure I have a purple mark for each day I'm out hunting, minimum. So no matter what, if I go to a spot and it's kind of bunk, I have at least a handful of those favorites marked, and then a lot of general areas marked. You got our general areas. They'll all kind of look like this area with our exploratory marks all over it, but you want a whole bunch of areas like that. It's just really going to help you. So one reason I'm going to show you here too why you want a lot of marks. Okay, let's say we parked here, we hiked in one year, we come in, we went to our glass spot, we shot across, and we got a bear. So we shot a bear in this spot. Let's mark it bear or brown. I like to do brown so that it just means I've been there. Whatever color, it's just the principle that I've been there now. It's not a green like I was exploring it. So let's say we shot a bear over there. Okay. This is one of my favorite glassing spots now, obviously, right? You shot a bear, so click on that. Okay. So now, one of the main reasons we want a lot of spots is, okay, great, I shot a bear back there last year. This is where I parked. But every year is different, and you'll definitely find this out with bear hunting. I mean, you could camp at the same spot. You could try driving up this road here, and then, bam, you get stopped. Right here, it's snow. Just snowed in. Can't possibly make it. Denied. So that's why you want a lot of different spots. You don't want them all at super high elevations. You want high elevation ones too, but you just want to be ready to battle the elements. That's a lot of what spring bear is about. So just have a lot of general spots marked at different elevations as well. And it's going to help you tremendously. You mark them all high, and you come out for the year, and you go to your spots, and you just can't make it to them, and it's a disaster, and then your brain's not thinking clear and you're scrambling. So just make sure you can make it up that road, and if you can't, you got spots marked that you can go to.
So now that we have a great e-scouting foundation set, let's dive into some of the little key things that we're looking for. So I'm going to show you some gold nuggets here. Let's check them out.
So we're going to go to Glacier here for our first example, and the first thing we're looking for is the greenest of green, and this looks pretty green. So you can see all these nice green meadows down here. Yeah, they all look pretty good. And another thing that's good about this too is these water cutouts right here. You could definitely tell that water is running through those a lot of the times a year. Below that spot is going to be super green. This entire area is going to be very green. So this is a good example of the first thing you're looking for, and that is the greenest of green. That's what we want to find there. Then we'll pop over to another example here. This is one thing I also look for this with elk hunting as well. But you see this yellow spot? That's usually from super wet marshy area, so there might be a spring in the side of the mountain here, but regardless, that yellow, I love looking for that yellow. That means it is going to be very green and have water around it. That's another good thing that I look for. I'm looking for that yellow grass. Usually means there's some mud in it, or some water and just green grass around it. It's a good example. This is another good example right here I'm going to show you. So this is actually one of my favorite spots on public land. It's in Idaho. I bet you can't find it. But so one really cool tool to have. You can see this is logged, but one cool tool to have, I go to the layers, come down, okay, click right here, and then we'll go to the timber cut, and then it shows you the years too. It shows you the years that it was cut. You can kind of see here. I actually saw a bear in this spot right there, right here, last year too. So I like using that timber cut tool. I do like hunting those timber cuts, especially on a gated road where I can walk across and look at it. But that's a really cool tool to have. So use that tool if you can, for sure. Watch them timber cut areas. But that's another gold nugget. So here's another thing that I'm looking for that I really like, that gets me excited. This one's actually on Google Earth here, this imagery, but if If you look at this, okay, it already looks kind of good. There's some stuff around. Looks okay. But when you zoom in on these rocks right here, specifically these ones, you can see how kind of green and mossy they are. You can almost tell that they're moss-covered rocks. I love those moss-covered rock slopes, and so do the bears. They just love, not like a steep cliff like this one. You can see over here, that's just kind of a nasty cliff. And they might be, you know, whatever. But these mossy rocks, those just, to me, they just scream bear. That's another little gold nugget there. If you're hiking around, you see some of those good mossy rock slopes. Those bears really love hanging out on that stuff. So we'll pop back over into Glacier here for this example. Already looks like a really nice drainage, but one thing that I'm also looking for that's sometimes hard to see on the imagery, but you kind of got to be there, and depends on the time of the year, are these creeks. These nasty creek crossings. They just deter a lot of people.
I'm not getting in there. You get in there.
I'm not going anywhere. I got a backpack on. You don't get in water with a backpack. Everybody knows that.
I'll keep using this same spot for this example too, but another really cool tool that I like, and I like to use for a lot of different kinds of hunting too, is my elk and the bear as well. I come over here to the layers, and then we have a roadless area. I love using that roadless area tool. You know, anytime you can get away from roads, the hunting is going to be better, specifically with bear and elk, obviously. So I really like that. I really like using that tool. You can kind of see certain areas a little better.
So we're prepared, we're geared up, our mapping app has plenty of marks on it, we got all our favorite spots figured out, and we're going to make sure that we're not going to run out.
Absolutely. So check out part 3, boots on the ground.
Let's go on, click on the video, or go to the channel.